Hello and welcome to WPI's Press Center Daily Briefing. Today is the 3rd of July. I'm in the studio today with Hamid Tabayi, the leader of the WPI. Hello and welcome, Hamid.
Thank you.
It seems now that there are still two employees of the British Embassy in Iran being held by Iranian authorities, and the head of the Guardian Council has announced today that they will be put on trial because apparently they have confessed. To what we are not quite sure, but Iran has said that the UK had actually planned a velvet revolution in Iran.
Yeah.
They seem to be very upset with the UK for all of this, and they say that the embassy employees had a significant role in this. Hamid, how does it all fit in at the moment?
Actually, the whole thing is just baseless. It's just claim. They claim that because they want to somehow explain what's going on the street in Iran, so they have to blame somebody, and who better than British people, because they cannot, as always, go for US and blaming US. Before it was death to US everywhere. US was the great Satan and so on. But now, after Obama, they know that that thing is not going to work much. So now they are changing the whole strategy, propaganda against British people, that they have a long story that if for interfering in affairs in Iran and that sort of thing. So that's the target. I think in the 2 Fridays ago in a sermon, Khamenei mentioned British government for interfering with affairs in Iran, and from that point that thing started. They arrested the Iranian people who worked for embassy, and now we know that the rest of the story. I think the whole thing is just a propaganda agenda for Islamic Republic, blaming foreigners for what's happening in Iran.
Could it also be to rally some support within Iran from some of the people to say, look, we are attacked,
Not
we are
at all.
interfered?
No, nobody. Maybe just those people who are part of the Khamenei faction, maybe those people. Even they know that they're lying, I think. Nobody believes them. Even themselves, they don't believe that. They know that it's mere propaganda and that's all. They know that. I don't think anybody believes them that is somehow British government is involved in those street protests in Iran. Nobody believes them.
And the EU, they have been meeting this week, and they have been pretty, I would say, lame on their response so far.
Yeah.
And what they're considering at the moment is they're saying they want to summon all the Iranian ambassadors in the EU who work in the EU, probably to question them or put pressure on them. They also said they are probably going to do now, what they're going to do is the visas for Iranians holding Iranian diplomatic passports would be suspended. There was another proposal saying that they wanted to withdraw the EU ambassadors from Iran, but I think that is sort of
For now, everything is just talking about those ideas. Nobody did anything yet against, diplomatically, against Iran. Of course, many of them condemned those sort of brutality that government of Iran showed against people in Tehran and other cities, but that's all. So now it's a talk about just like that thing, banning visas for the diplomats, Iranian diplomats. It's the minimum that a government can actually do something, protesting diplomatically against the government. But even that thing is still talk. Nobody still did that. But still it is, you can say that it's one step forward because now everybody talking about, even I said a guy was talking about persecuting Ahmadinejad because of what's happened the last month in Iran. Of course, that guy was the ex-Justice Minister of Canada. Doesn't have any official post now, but still, it means something, I think, because now, because of the public opinion pressure on those governments, I think they have to do something. So, like all good diplomats, they just talk a lot and do nothing.
Which is funny because in Honduras there was a coup d'etat a couple of days ago, and already all the EU diplomats have been withdrawn within a couple of days.
Yes.
So, and this...
but in Iran, they hope, yeah, in Iran it's different. It's very different. They still hope that they want to keep their options open. Whoever comes out of that mess, Ahmadinejad or whoever else, they want to get involved in negotiation for the, say, nuclear question, or for interference of Iran in Lebanon, in Palestine, in Iraq, that sort of thing. So they are not changing. I mean, strategically, again, they are after somehow negotiate with the government of Iran, and nobody changes mind about that. That's why they are very cautious. They are very, I mean, they are, as I said, maybe they are going forward, but very slowly and very diplomatically.
And they also have very strong business and economic relationships.
Also, yeah, for EU,
yes,
or especially, yeah, EU, they have a lot in there. They are not gonna do any sanction event against Iran. They are not gonna do that.
But they, of course, say they want to keep the channels open of communication.
Yes,
not
yes.
Maybe it's bad for the reform movement within Iran as well. That's what they're saying. Coming to a rather sad point, tomorrow we have heard that 29 people shall be executed in Karaj, a city near Tehran.
Yeah.
What are they?
Yeah, the reason is obvious. That's the first response of the government against people for what happened in the streets during the last 3 weeks. Of course, nobody directly mentioned that they have anything to do with the protest, but everybody knows that it is a response to the protest. It's very the thing that they said about what they did, you cannot find much. They used a very general term as what they did. That means something like questioning the authority of the supreme leader or the authority of Islam, something like this. And that's all. So nobody knows what the reason exactly is. Nobody even knows their names. They just know 29 people are going to be executed tomorrow. And it's very, I mean, it's a warning for all the people who want to do something against that. I think it should be a big issue all over the world, condemning the Islamic Republic, and with any means try to don't let them do that. But I hope it's not only the first step, but I think after that, if they do that, for sure going to be another group for a long time.
Of people who are going to be
executed, right?
I think it also shows how...
And before that news for 29 people, we had the news of they already executed 6 people, I think, in Tabriz maybe, 6 other people, around 20 people already being executed during the last 2 weeks. But it's the first time that they declare it so openly, talking about 29 people, a list of 29.
29 is a lot, and I think it shows also that the justice system in Iran, there is no justice.
Of course, yeah,
there's
that's
no
not
lawyers.
new.
It's very, very quick. Tomorrow, there is no lengthy
No, it's not the first time they do that, of course.
Yes, of course.
Always they do that, yeah. It is, people used to it. They know what that thing means. But the new thing is that they just mentioned 29 people is a big number, and all of a sudden, out of the nowhere, tomorrow morning we're going to do that, and we're not mentioning any names. Yes. That's the new thing about this.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
This was a daily press briefing on 3rd of July. I'm Patti de Bonitas. Until tomorrow, goodbye.